Right, before we start, it's been a while since I did a VOD review, and I want to do more of them. And I've set up a new entry form at vod.massivesponge.com. If you're watching this far in the future, maybe that's gone, but for now, vod.massivesponge.com, and you can put your VOD in there. For this VOD here, it's the first submission on vod.massivesponge.com, so big thank you to them. I think it's from Simphil, so WSimphil. And we're starting off with 373 Guardians, 231 Servants. It's a solo Hourglass match. And they said, why did you lose? They said, I delayed fixing overturn at the beginning for way too long, which put me into an unfortunate situation early on. I then allowed pressure to build and never really made too much progress back. They said, this is an older VOD, so even now I see so many issues myself. I was even partially AFK and didn't raise sales at the start, if I remember correctly. But I would appreciate identifying specific underlying weaknesses I have so I know where to focus further improvement. Not just the reasons I lost a specific fight, but anything you see that might be holding me back in all solos would be great to know. Big ups. Okay, sweet. Well, it's been a while since I've reviewed, and it's also been a while since I played a real Hourglass match because I've been playing LSS. With that in mind, you can also submit LSS matches on the VOD review form. I've got like a game mode thing you can go like LSS, Hourglass, or if you feel like you have a game that was just an adventure or like in a tournament or something, you can submit that. Let's go and have a look at this VOD. Okay, they do go partially AFK like they said. They only turn right and they're just full sailing. It's whatever. Raise a little bit late, but it's fine. Okay, first cannon's a little bit short. A little bit high, a little bit front. Oh, actually. No, it's perfect. I was wrong. They're hitting. Settings-wise, everything looks good. They're using a good cannon flare. They're using decent FOV. He is missing a lot here. It looks like he's not putting it high enough lead. He's overturning as well. That's going to be a bit of a problem. This isn't the greatest spot to shoot a chain. I would say when you're at the start, you kind of want them to be coming in before you start shooting chains. So I would say that that is a bit of a mistake. That it's worth waiting a little bit for them to sort of be sailing into you or just in like a really good orbital before you're shooting those chains, but whatever. These cannons are just missing though. We've only hit them like once or twice. I think with the cannons as well, we just need to take more of like a careful approach where you just shoot and then don't adjust so drastically. Just make small changes until we're hitting, because right now we're not hitting. And especially same with the chain as well. You generally shouldn't shoot the chain if you're not already hitting cannons. This is a really dodgy. Okay, hold on. Let me just watch this through. Okay, so for me watching that, I thought that the cannon was a little close, but it wasn't actually close enough to one-ball them. But it did hit the mast. If it was a little lower, it would have probably one-balled them. But when you go into the crate, you can just spam F and you'll grab the stuff out you want. And if you've set up your crate correctly, you'll always get the right thing. If you sometimes need pineapples versus mangoes, then sure, it can be like manually clicking through it is important. But ideally, you're opening the crate and you're grabbing from it straight away. And ideally, you're actually just going EFX fast reball. And if you don't know how to do that, look at my YouTube short. I made a guide on how to instant reball from a crate. I think here he wanted cannons and chains, but I know that was a very like scary and slow way to do it. So because we're overturning, we're getting closer, and they are coming back into angle because the other boat's caught wind here, I think. Look at the wind direction. Yeah, they are. But we still overturned a lot, and that kind of made the cannons harder for us and easier for them. Mast rep, not so important here, and it hits you off of it. Like, if you have a little bit of foresight, you can sort of see that cannon's going to hit. I'm like 50-50 on those. Sometimes it looks like a cannon's really going to hit, and I get off the rep early and I get it wrong, and sometimes I get it right. So, I mean, questionable if it's worth letting go with the rep because we saw the cannon, but I wouldn't have gone for this rep in the first place. Angle's more important, and hitting cannons is more important because this guy's been hit like twice so far. We're still a little overturny. Oh, and I wouldn't go for bad rep. It's so rare that it's a good thing to do in solos. I don't know if it's real, but in solos, in any form, when I'm repping bad rep, I often try and put myself as close as possible to the mast, just in case the mast hitbox extends outwards more than my player model does. I don't know if that's actually real. I haven't tested it, but in theory, the ball would hit the mast versus you and one ball you. So that could be worth doing. Alright, we're just hard-nosed here. We touched the wheel like once at the start, and then we just completely left it, even though we were obviously overturning. I mean, to me, it's obvious that we're overturning the whole game. I mean, I think what Simple said in the submission was that, I think what they said in the submission was that they know, like, they see a lot of mistakes themselves, because this is an older VOD. So I guess that's like something that they might have noticed, but for me, it seemed pretty obvious that like they were overturning. We're spending a lot of time on wheel here. Master rep is definitely not the right call. These are obvious things. Like, you could have got balled there. It went anyway. Catching is fine. And now you have angle. So now we need to hit cannons online and then chop them. The match isn't lost yet. We go below deck and you've got a right side and maybe 2 left. I can't actually see because the water was over them, but... So he's got 3 left. So he's got 1, 2, 3. He's got 2, 3, 4. And he's got this right side here. This isn't the worst rep, but you haven't given them any pressure, so they're just going to hit you off it or hit it again or just keep building pressure. They haven't hit 1 yet, so they'll probably hit 1 soon. I don't know. I really feel like we should be, instead of that, just shooting cannons and getting line and chopping them first, especially considering your wheel I don't think was damaged yet, so it's a good time to chop them because you can keep angle. Alright, so you got full chop, that's fine. I didn't hear it either. Right, now we're slightly overturning, I think, but we might not be fine. Yeah, get on the cannon. No, get line first here. See, this is a mistake. So this might hit. It didn't quite hit. The advantage of shooting cannons first is you can get the left, right, the horizontal before you shoot the chain, and then all you're doing is just moving it a little bit left and up because of the chain movement. Loading off, setting back, great. Didn't actually technically have to, but you should, like, ADS with snipe at least, even if you're not going to shoot. You held that so far. Like, that's really stressful. This one I wouldn't hold to get knocked off. This one, I'm already off at this point. I'm not holding that. This gets way too close for comfort before you let go. If you're on, like, I mean, I can't believe you got away with this on 85 ping. This is, like, this is pretty nuts. Like, seeing the cannonball is pretty crazy. But that doesn't kill you, even though you are low as well, right? Am I crazy? So you already tanked this splash, and then that one, yeah, put you very low. Okay, we're just sort of fucked because we've hit their boat like twice this whole game. Don't go for chains first. They can just keep doing whatever they want. Sure, if you hit 2 chains straight away here, then it's okay because now they have to at least do something. But like, until you do that, you're just like getting more and more negative in this game. Okay, they're getting on a back angle here. You could probably rep 2 if you felt like it. I would probably... I don't know if I'd leave wheel here. I'm trying to think, if I played from this situation, I would probably at least put 1 on wheel now. I don't think I'd go for the 2 extras on wheel before, but I would probably turn the wheel tight like you did, put 1 rep on it from here, put 1 rep on it so it's got 1 rep total, then go rep 2, maybe rep 3. For context, if you don't know what 2 and 3 are, the very first hole is the front of the boat, the one at the very front, and then you've got 2, 3. So the first 2 on the left, front left, 2 and 3, I would rip those. They haven't hit any backs yet, but they're about to like absolutely slam them because they're on your back. So this is a chance that you have to sort of recover before, as you get line back. So your goal right now is to recover and get them back onto your left side and then give them pressure so that they can't just like close out the game here. So drain as well is a nice thing to do here. You took a right, so I'd be repping that soon. I drained a floor and rep right. Didn't quite drain the floor, and you just wasted time. Going below deck, not starting a rep, and then going back up, like, that was just a waste of time, because you could have got an extra bucket in that time. Now we're shooting a chain, we're tanking a ball, and now you've got to eat, so that's going to fuck up your timing more. You've sort of lost 2 buckets in that flow. I actually didn't watch. Did the chain hit? The chain did hit, so that's good at least. At this point, I would do an eat while loading cannon because I've already got 1 chain on and I want to use this time while their masters hit twice so I can get another chain in. But you can only eat while loading a ball. So I would eat while loading a ball, hit line, and then chop them. But you've got a good wave, so you're going for this bad eating. I mean, I don't think it's the best way to play it, but given that this player that you're playing against doesn't seem like the best player, it's okay that you did this, but it's just a little dangerous to just grab cannon without eating here. And that's so scary, because if that hits mast, you die, and that's game. And you could have been fine, because you could have got a cannon loaded and eaten, shot the cannon, taken cannon line, because this guy was already planning on leaving cannon line, I think, and then chop them on the next cannon. And then even if they take cannon line, they shoot, you'll only take 50% unless you get one ball. But you wouldn't be at risk. Okay. This was a weird decision. This kind of comes back to you didn't rep the wheel before, so now you're in this spot where you have to anchor to keep angle. I don't even know what I do here. I don't think I've been in a spot like this. Like, this is kind of cooked. I have to sort of put myself in this spot. Like, what would I do if I was here? And I think anchor is probably what I would do, because the other boat is still drifting forward. Was my hand going the right way? Yeah, they're still drifting forward. And if you anchor, then you'll still turn a bit more left, so you'll be nosing them slightly. You'll have a front angle. And then they will drift forwards a little bit more, and you'll be okay, hopefully. Alright, we're taking a lot of fronts now. We never rep that front right. You could probably rep 1, because they are still struggling to hit 1. 7's a good rep choice, but it is a big hitbox. For context, 7, I think, is all the way up to here. If you can see this, yeah. All the way up to here and to the back, I think is 7. I'm not 100%. It might be like to here is still 6 in terms of this wall that I'm doing with my mouse. But I think it's like to here. So 6 is like a pretty small hole here. It's only a tier 1, so they've hit it with a chain or something. Or is that a tier 2? That's a tier 2. They hit it with a cannon. And then 7's a bigger hole. But because you're nosing them, they can still hit 7. Yeah, I think 7's an okay rep choice, but it's certainly risky. We're getting really high water here. Yeah, you have to spend a lot of time here just draining and expecting a board soon. Like right now I'm thinking I'm just going to drain to floor and get ready for a board. If they board and you get a kill, then you might be okay here. Oh, you didn't throw that. I don't think a snipe's the right call. You're so far behind that it's just not even worth it to get a snipe, because you getting that snipe doesn't buy you so much time. Sometimes it's good to get a snipe because it forces them offline and to just start their bucket cycle. So you can sort of get them off of their normal like cannon to bucket cycle, and it can fuck them up. Or if you're lucky, you get a kill, but that's only when it's like a full noob, right? Here, obviously you missed it, but let's say you did hit it. They're just going to eat and keep shooting. They've probably repped the holes they had. At most, they have 3 tier 2s, right? So, and that's the bucket that we didn't throw before. I don't know if snipe was loaded. I can't remember if we reloaded snipe. They haven't re-hit 7. They haven't hit 6 all the way, which is good. There's no one on that cannon. I just don't know what the goal is of that snipe. I think if you want to go for a snipe, you should do a load cannon snipe, because then you have a chance of getting a kill with it. If you load cannon while ADSing snipe and then instant shoot the cannonball to finish, it's doable. It's a bit deep. I would probably do one more bucket through grate here. It's something that I've been working on like incorporating recently, which is you can just bucket from down here if you have the right water level, and you can jump if it's a little bit high. But I would probably want one more bucket down and keep the water low before going for this. But this is okay, you'll make this. But now the thing is, you aren't able to bucket out through the grate. I paused halfway through my sentence there because I saw you opened your pause menu, which means that you're not closing barrels correctly. If you close barrels with escape, this is going to happen all the time because of game lag or because of splash. If you're in a container and you take damage, you get knocked out of the container, and then you're hitting escape to close the container, and then you'll open the pause menu. And then you have to hit escape again, and then you'll press something else wrong, and you just get stuck forever. But if you press X, which even if you've rebound X to something else, it's still the close. So X by default is the drop bind. For me, I use X for food. Whatever, use whatever binds you want. But no matter what you change for your drop bind, like stow/drop, X will always be the closed container bind, which is a really useful bind because it doesn't do this when you press it. So you should use that instead. The other thing is if you, I think I said this before, but if you had bucketed on the way down, you'd be able to throw it out great. And if you bucketed, graded, repped, bucketed, great, you can get the grade again that time instead of having to run all the way up here. And that means you can get like one more extra bucket going back up the stairs. And that just sort of in terms of your timing here, you're one extra bucket ahead. So like all up, I think I've counted like 2 or 3 before and then 1 here. Since we've been in a bad spot, we've missed out on 3 or 4 buckets that would get you back into the game a bit more. Your angle has turned out all right, even though we're anchored. One thing to note is if the thing about them shooting is because you're anchored, you're not drifting. When they're shooting you and you're not shooting them, you're drifting either forwards or backwards. This isn't something that I'd worry about too much on like most levels, but at a high level, this is kind of important. And if you're in an anchored situation, it's important. But when you shoot them, they will drift and you can't turn because you're anchored. When you're anchored, you move less. But when you shoot someone with cannonballs, they usually drift. And depending on which way you're pointing to the center of map, which is like where Sea Dog's Tavern is, if you guys know that, the center of map. Let's say your bow is pointed to Sea Dog's Tavern, which is the front of your boat. If you are hit with a cannonball, you will slightly drift towards the center of the map. So here, if you start shooting, and I'm not 100% sure where we are, I can't see any landmarks. I'm assuming that the center of the map is towards our left, right? If you shoot their boat, they're going to drift to your back, which is probably actually better for you. But you haven't been shooting at all, which is why you've kept angle. But that also means that you haven't shot them all. So they've just sent. So the play right now is just to spam buckets. You could consider shooting holes as well to make them go back. Or just to give them a timer on going back. But ideally, you should just lower the water here, and then you're ready to guard. I hope you have a blunder here as well. He sent out far right because you hear that pistol shot. You know he's got a pistol now as well. So you got to be careful of him two-tapping you from water. But because he sent out far right, I'm 100% going to go for a cannon shot here. But you got to be wary of the rock of the boat. Because let's say that you're... how do I lay this out? You're here at the cannon. He's in the water over here. Right? So you're here at the cannon. If the boat's rocked like this and you're shooting cannons that way, you're shooting cannons, and the boat's rocked like this, then he can't see you over the wall of the boat. But if you're like here and the boat's flat, he can maybe see you. But if you get a bad rock and you're like here, then, you know, that's bad, obviously. So you need to make sure that if you're going to do the cannons here, you need to watch the rock, because if you go for those cannons, you're obviously wasting bucket time. You're going to waste even more if he hits you from the water, and he's got a pistol. So he might have a sniper as well. I'm assuming that if it's a good enough play, he'll have both. So you can't hold cannon through it. So ideally, what you're doing here is you're going to go to cannon. If he does hit you, you're going to eat and hold cannon, like eat load, like at the same time. But because he's outright, I would go for a cannon here. Yep, you're low enough to go for it. Ooh, you went for the 6 rep. This is fine as well. This gets you more time if he gets up. You hear him right grab. Okay, you let him a little high. Oh, we missed the kill though. This is rough. You're a bit slow on this. I don't know if this is a strong enough blunder because you sort of aimed left before. See this? We're sort of left of him here, so this might not be a strong enough blunder for a kill, even if we did. It looks like you hit 4 on 4 on your end, so I don't know. But you did hit 4 on your end, so good for you. So he might be killable here, but you never know. He's off. See, at that point, unless you're certain you're going to hit that snipe, and you weren't certain there, I could tell you were sort of unsure and slow, just reload the blunder, because you'll get another try, and you can get 2 or 3 buckets in. And also, like, this guy's wearing this outfit, man. Like, he's wearing this outfit. Like, he's probably a noob, man. And he didn't do a regrab play. He didn't turn when he was in the air. It sort of seems like he's not, like, fully smart. Right, he's going to blunder climb here. He knows you use both, so he's going to ego this. He's up all the way. He doesn't care because he knows you don't have another gun. He's pushed you hard. He's going to eat. Spinning around doesn't really do much. Blundering you. But not one blunder. That's good. You tank that one. Because you knew he was going to throw another one, you can stand still there because you weren't below 50%. So you could tank a blunder bomb and eat. Alright, at this point, you want to load. Yep. This is good. I don't know. Did you finish the blunder load? I hope you did. I usually go for blunder first or whatever. Okay, here, don't ADS. He's right next to you and you've hit him and you're in a race here for the next shot. So let's go back. Going frame by frame for some reason. Okay. We hit him. At this point, we're right next to him. I think with quicksop, you can like technically ADS in time, but it's just going to like make it more clunky because when you ADS, you have to wait until you get to a certain point of ADS before you can click. So it's a little bit more clunkier than just spamming left click and trying to track him here. That's what I would do, because you've already hit him with a snipe, your minimum range, you probably can't shoot at this frame. This is the first frame you can shoot and you're already off of him. Whereas if you had just not ADS'd, then like you're probably gonna hit 3 or 4 pellets on ADS'd here. You miss the whole blunder and you die. You might have traded, honestly, even if you had hit him. Oh, he knows as well. This is quite unlucky. I think this rep is probably the wrong call. I don't think this buys you much less water. This is good, and then sniping is bad. At this point, yeah, you should have shot. If you drain to the floor, shoot his boat, I think. I think my decision here is once you drain to the floor there, shoot his boat until he grabs ladder, and then hit him off with a blunder. Honestly, you don't even have to go for the skeet. As long as you keep your snipe here, you're in a good enough situation that he knows you have snipe, so he won't be able to ego climb. And if he does ego climb, you do have the second shot. Yeah, and then if he ends up in the water in a spot where you're sure you can hit the skeet, then that's good too. And then with that, you can blunder him off, reload blunder, and if you want to get advanced, while you're reloading blunder, you can load that cannon. And then you can get another shot in while he's climbing, and then he's going to get more desperate. Because he knows he's on a timer here. But also you can get a bucket in as well. I think the general theme with this whole game is at the start, hard overturn. We hit 2 cannons, so the cannons were very good. We hard overturned, we left hard overturn. Then once we were in a bad spot, we didn't focus turn still. We needed to put 1 rep on wheel. Let me like skip around. When was the wheel fucked? Here, we anchored. We got anchored here and this was okay. At this point, we did that weird run below deck and we didn't get enough bucket time in. We went for a snipe that missed. It's all minimizing the wasted time in every Hourglass game. Yeah, so don't lose angle, obviously. Hit your cannons, obviously. Make sure you get optimal timing. When you use your items, you need to use them the right times. When you're using your bucket, you need to make sure you get the chance to either go get a rep or go load cannon while you throw the last bucket, for example, or eat while you load the next cannon. You have to make sure you're using all of that time correctly. And then when he boarded, don't waste that snipe. You can hold him off and you can shoot back as well. I think repping 6 is a non-call on a meta level. That's pretty much it. And then, yeah, at the end, you probably could have just on ADS blunder. It would have been probably easier to track because your sense changes as well when you ADS. So I think it just would have been easier for you if you just on ADS blundered because he was so weak. Also, he probably damaged himself using blunder bombs. GG. Sweet. Well, on that note, if anyone else wants a VOD review, vod.massivesponge.com. I will put the link in the description. There are specific requirements for the VOD, 5 to 15 minutes, 1080p, 6K bitrate, 60 FPS. And then just fill in the like short form and I'll hopefully get to it. So cheers.